this is a property in Manchester. The applicants have passed nearly all the vetting with flying colours. He works for the NHS, directly employed, not through an agency, which makes it a little bit more security. Guarantor is a UK property owner. Credit checks are fine, no issues raised. Decent amount of income, no debts, no county court judgments, no IVAs, no criminal records, right to rent, share codes verified, everything done now. It should be noted that I do all the vetting and referencing myself at RNE or Rent Northeast, simply because when you do it through an agency or a third party referencing company, they don't check a lot of things. We've checked everything here. We've checked even that I've been through a multi-agency credit report myself. And I've seen credit reports from all 4 credit agencies, so it's completely thorough. I usually just get a pass and a fail with most agencies. Here I've literally been through every bill payment that they make every month to make sure that it's affordable. So I've got everything there, besides the one thing, and this is again something that most agencies don't do, which is I did a land registry check on the person who provided the reference, and lo and behold, the names didn't match. So that tells me that the person giving the reference is not the actual owner of the property, which worries me, because that either tells me that it's a false reference, which means they don't want me to speak to the actual owner of the property because of something that's happened that they don't want me to know about, or that they've been living in a property without permission from the owner, i.e. staying with a friend. So I investigated further, and this is where we ran into a bit of a brick wall, which I'm going to continue in a moment. Right, so yeah, as I was saying, the applicants clammed up once I started investigating whose properties they'd lived in earlier. Now, they hadn't told me about these addresses. They had told me about one address, and I'd done a land registry check on that address and found that the person giving the reference wasn't actually the landlord. But I had also checked on their full credit history, and that showed registered addresses, and they hadn't disclosed some of these addresses, so they hadn't told me about the previous addresses, even though they were asked to in the tenancy application form. So it was all looking very dodgy. Now, the truth is that I don't really mind in some situations if someone doesn't tell me about a previous address, if I think that the reason is that they were living there by family or friends, which is often the case with people who are new to the country. Rent in advance. That means what I'm worried about is that, in the worst case scenario, they've got an unpaid debt with someone, and therefore I want 12 months rent in advance. And they said no, they can't do it, they can only do 6 months. I said, look, either give me the information that I've asked for or don't have the property. We went backwards and forwards a bit more, and eventually it got to a head, and I didn't want to lose these tenants, because so what I've done is I've told them I'm going to meet them at the property, and I want to discuss this face to face with them, and we'll see what happens, and I'll keep you posted. Alright, about to get out of the car and see how this goes. Alright, so that was really interesting. So I've met them, and as suspected, they were living in a property they didn't have permission to live in. Someone else was renting the property, and they were just staying with them, which is why they didn't want to tell me about it. I don't know any evidence of it, but I strongly suspect that's the case. I don't believe that they're lying to me. So yeah, I can now put it to the landlord to make an informed decision, and we'll see what they say.